Uh, I'm the secretary now, which is, not necessarily my skill set, but I'll basically I'll take the recording, make a transcript of it, and throw it into ChatGPT to create some notes for the meeting.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Do it with ChatGPT.
yeah, yeah, it makes it pretty quick and easy.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, Rob, do you want me to start and say
Yeah,
where?
I just want to
Yeah.
start us off by saying that Greg and I met a couple of times. Oh, seems like a year ago. Once the semester started for you, it
Yeah.
got busy and we haven't looked at it since. So I was a little surprised to read this morning that we're launching this next month. Um,
I mean, of course, I
I,
mean, it's not
yeah,
mandatory.
yeah, yeah.
So,
No, I
like,
understand. I understand.
no, because we wanted to do a presentation today, but no one was, we couldn't do anything.
Ah,
We were all like around and we couldn't
yes.
focus. And then we met on Friday with Owen and Bill and Eleni. And then we were saying, let's see if you are ready in a month to present something, if you
Well,
want, not.
I think that we have to. We'll show you what we have, and I'm getting more ideas just talking now and seeing Tigger or Robert
Yeah, I'll
on the
be
line
Tigger. I
here.
know it's Robert. No,
Okay,
please don't call me
so
Robert. I'll freak out.
yeah, yeah. Well,
I know it
you
says
know,
it
I
right there on
I
the
think
sheet.
Tigger has an enormous amount of materials that I think would be wonderful to include in different places along this thing that we're setting up. And I just put another category in after Dominique mentioned life in academia.
Yes.
So these are areas that what we're going to show you this morning is the start. And then we have to figure out how to build it and how to populate it and actually use it. So you'll have to point us to the people in the guild that can help us with that.
Perfect.
Yeah, so I just dropped in the chat a link to our Google Doc that we've been sort of building and starting to work out of. It should be it should be live for everyone. Let me know if yeah, cool, 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 cool. If
Do you
anybody
want
can't get into
do
it.
you want to share a screen or do you want that we open the
Eh,
document?
Yeah, I think just open it so you can kind of browse it yourself,
Okay. Mhm.
unless anybody's having trouble with that and they want to see it on my screen, I'm certainly happy to do that too, if that's easier for anybody. But yeah, I mean, I think in some ways the the real importance is simply gathering names who's interested, connecting them, right? If we can get that first step to really happen, the our we've talked a bunch, and you'll see in that doc that we've been building ideas around, how do we gather the material from it? How do we share the material? And all of that is important and will be really useful for long-term stuff. But if the main goal of the co-mentorship program is simply that we that we get people to connect, that we foster these relationships, that we sort of allow this stuff to start happening. And so I think that's the thing that I'm a little bit like, yeah, we can launch that by March 10th, right? That's sort of my feeling is like, let's gather names, let's get people interested in being a part of this. Um, and mostly they'll figure it out on their own, and we'll provide some help and resources as best we can. But let's just, get it moving. And yeah, I think that's somewhat, but as you can see, I think let me open the doc. Yep. Ask people. Yeah, we started building these, kind of different little different pages, a menu here that shows some of the basically like suggested activities. Trying to just help people. I think if we can make this as frictionless as possible for people, that's one of the things. Like, what is it that we can, yeah, what is it that we can share? How can we do this and make it, appealing to people so that they'll really want to jump into this. And yeah, and I would imagine that eventually, hopefully, I think as people do these meetings, as this becomes part of the life of the guild, then we want to provide, again, easy ways for people to document, to share, to gather all of this material. I want to make sure that we don't get too lost in that aspect of it, which is, I think, the gathering the
of
material.
gathering material. Like we are
Yeah,
focused on only on this.
yeah, because I think we really need to, get it launched, get it moving.
So should we just be adding ourselves into categories we think we have something to offer, or just type it right in? Or how do you want to integrate us into the documents?
Yeah, exactly. I think no, don't add in right now. We actually had talked about, I'm sort of sharing these right here. Feel free to sort of make comments on things, I think would be fine, but let's not like edit these right at this moment. Again, I think the big thing we need to do, and even honestly, somebody could be sort of building this. We need just like a little survey, a little like Google survey that will, dump into a spreadsheet that we can then share with everybody to put in, what's a short bio, topics you'd be interested in learning about, topics you're comfortable offering some advice on, and just start gathering names and then put people together.
I would love if you, Alan, if you want to add a comment somewhere and put the things that you would put in, that would be really helpful for us.
Okay.
Anyone things that you'd want to offer up and share with
in the topics document?
It would be in the which is the topics
Whatever you
document.
call it.
The menu.
Yeah, that menu
The
area.
menu, yeah.
I'm just going to put let's see, topics. The topics. The menu. Yeah, this is still. That the teaching music for dance. That's what the topics is part of.
Yeah.
So,
that's
sure.
one of the topics. Yeah, I can do that. I can probably hit just about any of these subjects if you want. I do a lot with intellectual property, and I've certainly done enough composing and to offer. So anyway.
So Greg, would you say like highlight topics and then add a note or a comment, or how would
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, I think that makes sense to me.
I'm sorry, I have a simple question. What are you guys looking at? I hear you
Okay.
finding things and I don't have it on
Go
my
to the
screen.
chat.
I'm on the chat.
At the
Click the
document.
https://docs.google.
On chat. Okay. Ah, thank you.
And then scroll down to menu and click menu.
Okay.
I just included a possible section as, existing training programs or things that I did, like you guys say, it's almost like learning folk music. There's really nowhere to go to learn how to do
Right.
it. But these are the things that I've been doing recently. I wished I had met and worked with Olga, 10 years ago, but because I learned so much when she gave us 60 pages of music. That she had culled from the repertoire when she came over. She didn't know anything about ballet accompanying either. She was a musicologist and a theorist with small hands. The first thing she said in class, she goes, "Don't worry, I'm not a concert pianist. My hands are this big." We all were like, okay. And she plays beautifully, but she was trying to say, we were all in steps and listening to all these amazing pianists, and we're like, oh my God, they're so good. She's like, stop freaking out. You don't have to play at that virtuosic level to be a good ballet pianist. And So that's now I'm all on fire I'm excited about this mentorship program because I would love to work with. We had a couple of really young people in the class who had never done it before. Great pianists, but she slayed all of us. Every time we got to the piano to play one of the pieces she gave to us, she'd be like, "Oh, thank you very much. Now you sit down. I play for you."
Mhm.
So one of those classes.
So
So I was
maybe,
like,
So
sorry to step in. I have an online course. I don't know, maybe it's interesting for some of your colleagues, the new ones. I can send you the link.
oh, I'd love it myself too. Yes, yes, great. Thank you.
so Greg, I'm not sure where they're putting things at. Maybe we should just make it easier and have, because Dominic, you said you added something and I didn't see where it went.
Oh, she added it to the Zoom chat here.
Yeah, I just put it right on the chat,
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. That's also a fine place if you want to
just
talk.
as an example.
Yeah. Yeah. Drop some ideas in there. That's a fine place. Um, yeah, I'm starting to make just a little Google form that would be a survey that you know folks can fill out, because I think that's yeah, we need to gather names, and maybe even I guess also, yeah, sharing it widely in groups like that might be a really good way of inviting people in, if we can yeah.
Hmm.
Sorry, can we write in the document? Because I can, when I open the menu,
I'm
Yeah.
still looking for the menu.
you click on the menu and then it opens. But it's
I don't
possible to write on the menu?
I'm sorry, I don't have menu. I don't see the word menu here anywhere. I'm sorry.
Which page
Down
are
in
you
the
on? The invitation?
On the meeting, I have Dominique's, what Dominique said recently, that is there. Her background
Did you
is there.
go back to the document you opened, and at the bottom there should be a link.
I want to share a screen so you can see it, Robert.
Yeah, there you go. Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Um, where is share screen? I was sorry. Okay, here. So here you see it. So this is a document, and here in menu you click and it opens.
Okay.
This, okay?
And where's the document located to begin with?
In the chat.
In the chat. Okay. But I'm in chat, but okay. All right. Thank you, guys. I don't want to waste
So,
your time.
You
Oh,
find
no, no, no. No, it's in the chat, but you have to first open the Google Docs link, the HTTPS Docs Google. Have you opened that?
No, and I don't see it either. I'm so sorry,
yeah.
guys.
It's from it's shared by Greg in the
Okay.
chat.
Got it.
Do you see that link?
I saw you
I
again,
do.
Rob.
Ah, thanks. All
that's
right.
it.
Yes?
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, because I didn't want you to get stuck because I just learned how to find the chat today. So
Okay.
we're
Good to
we're
know.
we're we're getting there.
Okay, thanks, guys.
But one question,
So
can we write on menu or no?
They don't want us to write in it just yet.
Ah, okay, okay.
I'm
Yeah.
thinking it might be easier, and then we can just sift through it all later. What do you think?
Yeah, I think whatever
Because
way. If you
when we close the meeting, we lose the chat.
uh yeah, it should save the I can save it I'll save the chat before we close the meeting.
Yes? Ah, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think to make it most direct and expedient, let's just, if you want to add something, maybe change the font color to red or something so we know that it's newly added. That would work.
Um, may I have your name, uh, the conductor of the meeting? Can you tell me your name, because I just see IGMD
Yeah,
or
yeah. It's
Mariana.
I said
Mariana.
Mariana.
You're known as IGMD here at the meeting.
Okay.
Hi, Eggman. Glad to meet you.
Okay. May I have your last name, Mariana?
Palacios. I write it here. So
Oh, Palacios. Okay. Are you're the one that shared those? No, who shared those videos? Was that you?
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know which
No,
videos,
yes.
but I share videos.
I remember now. Yes, yes. Okay. Wow, wonderful.
Hmm.
So, Mariana, did you get what they were saying about they want to let us edit, but they say use a different font color
Color.
or something like that?
Yeah,
Did you get that?
but I didn't font color, but where in the where?
If you edit their Google document,
Ah,
they
okay.
want you to use a different font color so they know it was you that added.
Ah, yes, because we can write in the document, not in the menu. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Yes, thank you.
Mhm. I am coming back to this after a little while. It's now it's been 3 or 4 years. I started way back in the late 80s doing some modern dance classes and at BYU. And then in Rochester, New York, I was able to place for some ballet classes. But I'm just kind of learning the lay of the land here and learning what I know how to do and what y'all are thinking about. So seeing these categories is very helpful. What about the ballet terminology? Have you all studied or made, like I have these personal study goals. Okay, I want to memorize the American Ballet Theater Dictionary and know all the know what all the steps are, so I know what they're talking about in class. But sometimes I don't know the names of the steps, but I have a good feel for the rhythm. So
This is the list we got from Olga. I think these are all the steps you need. Because I mean, there's a little pocket size, dictionary, and every once in a while I'll look at it on the subway. But this one's nice because it's pretty much all the ones you'll need with the.
oh,
So I can
okay.
scan and if you guys put all your numbers, we can make a WhatsApp group and stay in touch that way too. That way we can.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I'm gonna give you my number. How's that?
Great. Yeah, just put it on the chat.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Thank you.
Mariana and I just shared our numbers, so if we all want to
Okay.
stay in touch.
So there it is for everybody.
Great.
Yeah, Dominique, we can also add you to the we have a Slack channel that
Oh, okay.
that is
Yeah.
also an excellent way between
Oh,
meetings.
sure. Yeah. Sounds good. And I'm joining now. I'm like literally filling out the little thingy with.
Oh, Owen's happy about that over there. Yeah, he's our. Is Owen? Are you officially the membership person? Is that right? Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. What else? Take a look at this. Let's see. I believe I have. What else do we need on a? I'm putting another doc into the chat, which would just have the survey questions. Literally, just throwing this together. But what else would we need on this in these questions? Is anything else, or literally is like this the thing that we just blast this out to people, and get as many names and then start connecting people?
Okay.
don't necessarily fill this out right now. I'm not even exactly sure where well, I guess my responses go here. Yeah, there's okay, I have the sheets. Okay. I mean, actually, I guess you could fill it out right now, probably. Yeah. But unless there might be some things we add to it in a little bit, but
I think the brevity of it is nice, and
yeah.
the questions are kind of open enough. So if you're doing more than just playing and you're doing some teaching or academic stuff, you can just put it into the answer somewhere.
Hmm.
My main question is, how do we build this into a usable part of the guild website?
Yeah, well, that's a big thing. Well, first, I think
Yeah,
we need to clarify, o sea, how how we want to do it. Like, how many people we want that are involved, and how we do the exchange, how we do the communication, and all of this. So I think the website, to put it in the website, is kind of the last thing because it has to be very clear before.
right.
And
No,
we want
that's,
to,
but we need to, I'm sorry, but we need to be working with whoever is building the website. So we are thinking along the same line. So
okay,
when we get to that point, yeah.
exactly. Well, Jeff created the website, but I don't
Okay.
know how available is he now.
Uh-huh.
But you have his contact?
Yeah, somewhere in my emails.
Maybe just contact him and ask him like, okay, how are
Yeah.
you? Can you work with us? I don't know. He disappeared for some months, so I don't know. I think he's busy with her. He had a baby and so on. So, but contact him and check, because Owen, how much you can do on the website? Small
Um,
things, no?
yeah, in terms of like kind of like like an app within the website that would be specific to this, I'm not really sure. I know we have our discussion pages that that you basically to respond to like an email, and I've got to look at this form. I just finally got to my office. I was coming from another meeting off campus. And so I'll look over this and see if I can give you some ideas on the technical end of things, like how we get it up
Okay.
there. I mean, I agree. If we can host it through the website, all the better. So everything's kind of in one stop, and we don't have multiple apps that we have to follow.
Mhm.
We have Slack, we have the website. It gets to be cumbersome to have too much more than that, I think. But yeah, I'll look into that and see what's possible. There may be a way to do this. Hi, by the way. Sorry I'm late.
Yeah, I mean, and
Good to see you all.
I think we do just want to keep in mind that like giving people resources is different than connecting people in a
Exactly.
co-mentorship.
Exactly. Actually, we want to implement the resources. We have already a resources area in our website. So we shouldn't mix. I know it's easy to mix because you want to tell people what exists. But the
Yeah.
mentorship would be, I mean, my idea, or I think the idea that we have, the mentorship is like a professional musician is meeting a new musician, or two professional musicians are meeting also, I don't know. So it's like two musicians meeting to share, and one is teaching to the other tools and no.
Yeah, and the resources like you were just saying. I think Dominique, you were holding up the paper. I did catch that about the terms and things. I think, yeah. I mean, that's the kind of thing that if we have permission, yeah, we could totally put it up on the resources because we want to populate that page with all kinds of stuff. On that note, I have a work study student right now who's uploading all of the video from the conferences that we have through the guild, and they're actually on they're just not listed. They're on our YouTube page. I probably just need to go back and make them public so that you all can view them. I'm speaking mostly to folks like Tigger and Rob and Alan, who've been to more of those, to maybe give us some feedback about what we want to put up for people to view, kind of draw their attention to. But yeah, we're getting more resources up, and that's, if we can have permission to use like that vocabulary list or really anything, and how we curate that will be something we do. We'll do that over time, but yes, please.
Who's Tigger?
Oh,
Sorry.
hi, that's me. My placket says
Oh,
Rob, but
okay.
it's a lifelong
Okay.
nickname. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Are you the one that was one of the organizers of of this in the back in the day?
Yeah,
Or
founding member. Yeah. Yeah.
wow. You said it
Rob,
was
Rob and
1970
Alan.
something?
And pardon me?
1970 something or
No, 1991.
oh 1991.
Rob and I had some contact back in 1978, I think it was.
Yeah, at
Okay.
Trinity College.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll just have this like geezer conversation, and you guys will like all watch you kind of passing out, with your busy academic schedules.
Awesome.
I'm I'm
Awesome.
I'm retired. I'm kind of out of the scene, so I'm just I haven't been directly involved in any form of dance really for quite some time, but I was for a good long time. So yeah, so that's right. So
Thank you.
yeah, it's a lifelong nickname, Marshall. Yeah. So yeah, I'm sorry. It
Thank
says
you.
Robert Banford up there. Maybe I can edit that, but yeah, it's family calls me Tigger or Tig for short. So please do that.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
And
Hey,
it's
do you
on your
still
CDs.
oh, by the way, Robert, do you still have some contacts with the musicians at Rutgers? I'm going to be there for ACDA in a
Ah,
in a month or so.
no, I really don't.
Oh,
No,
okay.
they eliminated my position when I left, and they sort of erased me, frankly. They should be soliciting me for um, legacy money, but they haven't. So too bad.
All right.
Yeah, it's like it was a great department. It was a great gig. I really liked it. It was challenging, and the student group. And, yeah, but I lived in Brooklyn that whole time, and there's a 35-mile one-way commute, 70-mile round trip, and it's like between 4 and 6 days a week, sometimes seven, and it was a little much. That part I don't miss at all. Yeah, it's quieter for me now, and that's all right with me. I got bunnies in the yard and deer around, and I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm. But it's like Eagles territory around here. You can't imagine how insane it was.
So in terms of what we do at the March 10th, if we have like a kickoff for this thing, right? What's going to make that meeting this time in a month, what do we think might be some good ways to present this? I sort of assume that anybody who's kind of joining the meeting at that point is going to be like, yeah, I'm in, I'll do this. I'll chat with somebody, right? Like, I think we're all here so that we can talk to each other, see each other, because this is a lonely little field and we want to, I'm not sure there's a whole lot we even need to do. I mean, I guess we could do like some breakout rooms and have people chat that way at the meeting. Okay.
No one liked that idea.
Cool.
Yeah, we've done it in the past, and we haven't done it much since the first couple times we tried it. And but yeah, I think it'd be a great way to kind of, as a teaser, to have like, even do some one-on-one stuff. It would take whoever's, some of us, again, this gets into kind of the logistics of it, so that we have a couple of co-hosts that could then sort of quickly assign people while the meeting is getting started and all that kind of behind the scenes, and then we can have small rooms, small breakout rooms, kind of like people paired up or whatever, but just give people like, and just be like, hey, spend 15 minutes just getting to know each other and kind of like where you're coming from. And immediately there's going to be points of intersect, and there's going to be points of interest about, something that we can share. And so, yeah, just kind of give that as a teaser, like, okay, well, so, let's take this and run with it. Maybe even some of those connections that were established can even be the starting point for those. We could, you know what I'm saying? And that might be, maybe you could have a way to find out how much interest we have, people who are definitely going to be at that meeting, and we could even do some of that on the front end, but that might be hard to quantify right away. But anyway, yeah, those are just some thoughts.
Mm-hmm. You have a thought, Robert? You're muted. But
No, just thinking.
oh, no. Sorry, Kaplan. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. I'm just trying to figure out the most direct way to present this. Because we've been just brainstorming and kind of making an outline. But I'm just kind of stuck with what's the most direct, clear way of organizing this so it's not overwhelming when we look at it on the screen, and it allows people to make contact.
Exactly. I think you have to first make like a presentation of the idea, because there will be a lot of people that doesn't know anything about the idea, and I don't know, for Americans maybe mentorship is a very clear word. For me, it's confusing. It's like, what is mentorship? It's like collaborate. It's like working. It's like working for free or getting paid, or no, it's in a group, So explain the concept, like what's the idea? I mean, why this idea started, and how it's going to be made, like how many people is going to be involved, or I don't know, like be clear about the yes, about the
Mhm.
idea.
So what, why, how,
Mm-hmm.
what is mentorship? What do we mean by this? And
Exactly. Why
yeah.
we decided to do this, then what is going to be like. I mean, actually, I would like that you explain us today, if it's clear in your mind, what is going to be the mentorship project. Um,
Again, was
mhm.
or say again, Mariana, was that a question? That last thing?
Yeah. So yes, what is it?
Yeah, we simply we know that this is a very individual profession, that mostly our colleagues are dancers
Mhm.
day to day, and that we want to connect people one-on-one, so that they can have meaningful conversations, meaningful learning from each other, um, and get the guild moving and active in facilitating that.
Mhm.
Great. And I have the first question that it comes to my mind is like, uh, everyone everyone in the guild can give support or can receive support from other musician.
Mhm.
So you have to be a member to get this service. So
Uh,
and
Good question. Owen, any thought? Do we? I think
I
no.
would, I would, I think I think yes, and I think we have an option for people who aren't members to have a promotional membership. We've been offering that. Hopefully, if there's some people who are interested in this that have had that, who have not become like dues paying members, that will encourage some of them.
mm,
Yeah, I think it needs to be something where, again, if we're also utilizing the website in some way to have access to that, they have to be members in some form. And so I don't think it's like an exclusive thing, but it is like, yeah, there have to be benefits to being a member, and to be a member, you have this benefit. So
okay.
Yeah,
See, like a
that
compromise.
makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah, Owen, can you drop me a link to
Mhm.
especially where that membership page is? I'll put that in this invitation that
Okay.
people
Thank
fill out.
I just joined. It was really easy. Just,
Cool.
can I just say, like with this mentorship thing, like when I did the thing with Olga, there were six of us. We're all professionals, and the young guy who's like, I think he's still in college. He texted me. I still have to get back to him, but he was like, "Okay, I took the class. Now what the hell do I do?" Like, he was like literally because he's never played for dance classes, and I mean that's the level we're dealing with. And Olga's offered this like blew my mind. She offered the same class at Juilliard. Guess how many people signed up?
Right?
Zero. There was not a single pianist at Juilliard who took advantage of Olga, who's like, she plays at Juilliard, and or she did, and Joffrey. So it's like amazing to me. And I get it. Like if you're at Juilliard, you're like, I'm gonna be the next great,
Right.
soloist pianist. They don't think about their careers, and then they all get out and they're like, oh shit, like now I have to wait tables because I can't, I can't
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that I had that experience when I took the Mark Morris the week-long intensive workshop. There was a guy there who I think he had done his doctorate at Juilliard,
Mhm.
and he's this fabulous concert. He played a reduction of the Firebird that was insane, but he's like, I need a job.
And you
So
can't play the
yeah,
ballet. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, that's like a whole other conversation. Like, how do we reach pianists, percussionists, composers, people who have this mindset of concert music, and like, hey, this is another way, because I think that helps also grow the profession. Because if those people start knocking on the door of their local university or dance company, then suddenly you have possibly more opportunities. So
I, can
I
I
would like
just
to
jump? Oh,
suggest,
sorry.
sorry, I'd like to suggest that, well, first of all, I can think of a couple individuals. We're talking about prospective people to teach, who would like to get into the field, but there are great experts. I'm thinking of Christian Cherry right now, and Andre Gabou, both deeply skilled pianists with massive amounts of experience. Natalie Gilbert also. So when you're thinking about services, you also want to think about accessing the expertise of
yeah,
expert veterans, not all of whom are. I mean, I wasn't, so Owen talked me into rejoining, so thank you, Owen. Um,
thank you. It's great to
and
see
I
you.
would I would suggest, hoping not to give offense to anyone, that on average percussionists are built to be collaborators. We're typically in a support role. We're used to that. And the solo pianists you're talking about, I'm sure violinists would kind of the same thing. They're trained to be the solo headliners, and it doesn't come naturally to them to actually collaborate unless you get a degree in collaborative piano. You're gonna really good at
You know how
playing Schubert lead, that kind of thing. That happens too. But that
you know how
that's
many
neither here nor there. I mean, in the old days, it's like what Rob will speak to this. There's sort of three kind of classifications. There's the percussion realm, there's the piano realm, and there's the electronic realm. People are so expert in
Yeah.
Ableton Live and this kind of thing. I'm an acoustic player myself. I'm like, this is what I do. I'm good at it. I'm just going to stick with it. But just that's just an open suggestion, right? Again, you're talking about bringing students in. That's great, but there are great masters that you should find a way to access as well
Mhm. Would
as
you want
teachers.
would you want to make sure you give us a list of some names, some of those people you talked about? Because yeah, I mean, I would love to spend some time talking to Christian Cherry about, all that he knows.
Yeah,
His writing
he's
was
a,
fantastic.
he's a deep cat.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
And like some of us do have, like I have percussion skills. I'm not a great djembe player, but I've definitely played tons of modern classes and no one's kicked me out. But I'd love to know, where can I get to the next level? And I mean, obviously I know like djembe players, I'm in New York, but
Yeah.
who would you recommend and who should I, or who would you recommend that actually wants to teach this thing? Because here I am, I just applied to Ailey and I mentioned the word djembe and I was like,
Well, once again, is we could it's you guys all know this. It's like understanding how to work in a modern dance studio. You get some cat from Senegal who's just an incredible djembedora, and they would be lost in a situation. They would be just as lost as we would be if we just walked into some high level Ghanaian drumming ensemble. We wouldn't know what we were doing, and they don't know what they're doing. It's definitely a different skill. You can learn
Yeah.
a lot. Sure, you can learn the technique and all that, but if you apply those traditional rhythms, for example, Dominique, they're not going to necessarily work
Yeah.
It's definitely a whole different ball game, that's for sure.
Yeah. And I found what I've been able to do, whether it's in two or three, worked. And I was like, okay, I have because I've taken tons of percussion classes as a music ed, and
Ah,
I just
cool.
put that into. So I feel like there should be that discussion of getting us out of those silos because we can all learn electronics, we can all learn percussion. We can all be more well-rounded, and then you can get more jobs.
That's right.
Robert
I,
Cashman's got his hand up.
yeah, I think at some point we really do have to have a discussion about the changing job situation.
Mm,
Tigger retired, his job was eliminated. I retired, my job was eliminated. There
mm.
is a staff person who is covering things, but the nature of things, I mean,
Me too.
the I don't know, Alan, are you still the director or what's your
No,
position now?
I'm a full professor of dance, and I'm two associate deans in the school. And I do believe that when I retire, my line will probably evaporate.
Yeah.
Or it, we do have UC has kind of put more emphasis on professors of teaching, uh, and
That's
actually,
like
I think the
professors
dance
of
department,
practice.
yeah,
Professors of
but they
practice,
would
yeah.
be able to teach the music for dance that I've taught for 30 years, but
Yeah.
also play more classes, and so it would be a more balanced load for them, and that might make more sense for the department. But considering um, the crush on replacing people who retire right now in general in the arts in California system, but elsewhere, I'm sure. I feel like I'm protecting it for a little while longer, but
Yeah.
I'm not sanguine that I'll get replaced. It'd be nice if I were.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, there's no more full professor. I mean, there's no more tenure track or even faculty position for music in my program. So the weight that we were able to bring to the discussion is
mhm.
now changed, which makes a big difference. But there aren't as many jobs as there used to be for playing classes, and more studios are choosing to go a different route. So,
Yeah, that's a discussion I'm definitely interested. I'm actually I will be at NDEO in October. I'm
okay.
presenting the chair of our department on a lot of the co-teaching we've been doing in the jazz classes, where he's really had me as sort of an equal co-teacher and sort of talking about that model. And so I'm very interested in in that discussion. I would love, yeah, I dropped in the chat. I would love, can we just like say that our April meeting is going to be, our April work meeting is going to be a discussion about that? Is that?
Yeah, I responded to that. Like, I think the two areas we probably need to look at next are advocacy, which is the jobs and the state of the profession, and then also development. Looking at ways we can be raising some money, which is going to be really important going forward. Because once we hopefully get 501c3 designation reestablished, then we're required to have at least 50% of our total receipts through the year as donations or grant money or whatever,
Hmm.
as not membership dues,
Uh,
Hmm.
which also might make how we collect dues and what we call it and everything like that might need to change a little bit. But anyway, so that we can on paper show that we're getting donations in another form. But this is also a great conversation that leads me to what we were going to talk briefly about, which is conference. You're talking about the NDEO. It really looks like for the guild to sort of be going. We talked about, for those of you who are new, we talked about running a conference, hosting a conference along with NDEO like we've done in the past. We've reached out, we've had conversations with them. They're great. They'd love to include us, but we don't have anybody there who can kind of act as the person on the ground, a liaison. So we're looking at possibly doing something here at my university that same weekend. So we would miss you, Greg, but really would be thrilled to have you represent us there at NDEO, because we want to keep that connection established and maybe even grow that. But it feels like what y'all are talking about, just kind of what the guild is this getting together and sharing ideas and this expertise. So inviting people like Christian Cherry, Andre Gabru, and I can think of, the lady who's the music director at Kansas City Ballet, who is involved with the international ballet competition that comes here every 4 years. She's somebody who's got a really interesting voice, a lot of experience. So just, start to put out feelers for who could come and be a part of that. And maybe even do it as a hybrid conference where people could also Zoom in to the activities here, or maybe even present via Zoom. So we have a survey that I put out a while back, and I will real quick grab that and put it in the chat. But I'd love to have some responses. Only had a handful of people respond so far, but I would love.
Where is your home institution?
My home institution is Belhaven University.
Oh, you're at Belhaven. Okay.
Yeah, Jackson, Mississippi. We're
You're in Jackson, Mississippi?
Sure am. What do you know
Great.
about Jackson? I
Well,
didn't know anything
Well, no, I mean,
20 years ago.
I was in Jackson a few months ago because my good friend and colleague, the voice teacher I work with, Jamie Kamat, she graduated from Jackson State, and we work together here in Texas. I'm in Houston. So.
Oh, cool.
Her name is Jamie Kamat, M-O-T-T.
Jimmy Vermont.
She's
Okay.
an opera singer and teacher, but it's a different thing. It's just another one of the things I do.
Yeah, no, I was at Jackson State for 6.5 years. That's what brought me to Jackson initially.
Okay. All right. Interesting.
All right, I'm looking here to get a link to put on here so I don't give you the. But yeah, so I'll put that in the chat in a second.
Do you want us to fill out the form?
For the mentorship invitation question.
Or
Yeah,
was
does anybody have any other comments on it, or should we just say go for it?
Yeah, I think go for it, and we
was-
probably will need to meet at some point, just prior to that, just for some logistics.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. I'm thinking
Well,
also how
I'm
to,
hoping to get your ideas. I really would love to hear what you want to offer, what's missing from here, and yeah.
Can you post that in a discussion topic on the website for people to solicit people's response to that form? Because first of all, I can't see it because it happened for whatever reason. I can't go back in the chat that far.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So that's just the like invitation form that I just posted.
yes.
Oh, okay.
And then we also had here, I'll repost the Google Doc.
But if you could post those as a discussion topic in the guild website so that other people who weren't able to be at the meeting could also, if they choose to, submit a response.
Sure, I can do that.
Yeah.
And also I'm thinking how will be, I mean, like imagine that I read these emails like, oh, the mentorship idea, la la la, and I want to help a new dance musician. So how do we do that? I mean, should I send an email to the guide? Should I make a survey? Should I, like, how do we communicate to our members that if they want to collaborate on this, how do they do? They fill a survey or they contact you, or
Yeah, so that the first link that I just put on of those last two. We should send out an email to the guild that includes that and also
Great.
invites them to the March 10th meeting if they can make it. And also encourages them to share that widely to share that. And maybe I should put a slightly longer description.
Yeah. Also, like,
Yeah.
for example, if you are interested on joining in the Commerce program as a mentor and as a, I don't know, how do you say, a student, I don't know how you say, in both ways, or only people that want to teach. You know what I mean? Like, o sea, this is only for people that want to mentor someone, or it's also for people that want to receive?
Yeah, I think it's both. I think the whole model is not necessarily. Oh, go ahead, Rob. Sorry.
I've had a problem with calling it a mentorship program because I think one of the things that we experienced from the very beginning of us getting together was how much we learned from each other just by hanging out, just by being together. And I see this as an opportunity to rekindle that on almost a small group or one-on-one basis. What are you interested in? You want to talk with someone about it? I mean, I have as much to learn. I mean, I feel like I'm just starting out again. I'm not teaching anymore. And I feel like I'm back to where I was 45 years ago, just working on my playing and trying to figure out how to do this. And wow,
Absolutely right. Yep.
So I'm sure I have a lot of years of experience, but I have as much to learn in some ways as anybody else, really.
Yep.
So explain more concepts in the survey, so it's clear. This like, if I want to join, I'm going to be able to do this or this.
Mm-hmm.
Interest groups, more like, I don't know.
Yeah, this is where Greg and I have to kind of just simplify, and make it, so clear, and maybe not have all the links to all these different places, and just have that be in the resource section or something of the website. I don't know.
You could also
it's like yeah.
Go, Rob. Sorry.
I keep coming back to the connections. It's like a switchboard. This should be a really easy way to facilitate hooking people up to share ideas.
Yeah, can I let me share my screen and show this okay, send request, and I'll just show this survey, and if people can make a few comments on it. Oh, let's see.
Can I just give an example? If you want, you have an invitation for a party, but you need to know at what time is the party, if it's going to be in a house, in a disco, which kind of music, if you have to dress up, and then you are like, yes, I want to join the party, but you need to understand what I'm going to do in the party, what I will find.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Co-mentorship invitation. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you show the idea. If you're
Well,
interested in this
it's
project,
Google Forms.
I will say that if you are interested in joining this project as a mentor or as the other, I don't know the name in English.
Mentee. It's not used as often as mentor, though.
Okay.
People just look at you like, what? But that's the word.
Okay.
But the
why don't we just say co-mentor? Because I think that was, I mean, that's.
Yeah. I really like that. Co-mentor.
Yeah.
And also what you could do is to write another question. If you want to be a co-mentor, what would you like to share? And if you want to be a mentee or whatever, what would you like to receive? or I don't
Well, maybe just that. What do you want to give and receive? What are you looking to give and
exactly.
Maybe
to
just
get?
say,
Exactly.
Yeah.
if you scroll up again and just leave out, just say,
Create another
if you're
question.
interested in joining this project, comma, please leave your name, short bio,
Yeah,
some
sure.
topic you should be interested in discussing.
Yeah, just get rid of the co-mentorship thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
just
just get
that.
rid of it.
Yeah, we don't need to get caught up in the language.
Right.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
Yep.
Make, like you said, simplify.
Yep. And so if they need to join, they can find there. They can add their name, a quick bio, and then does this question here work? Some topics you might be interested in.
Mm-hmm.
And I would create another question like, what would you like to give and receive or something like this?
You don't think that gets covered in this? Please list some topics that you
Yeah.
might be interested in.
Discussing such as playing for ballet. I see this very general, like please list some topics that
Yeah.
you might be interested in discussing. Maybe I could say like, okay, I'm a ballet class pianist and I would like to find more people, but then you are not focused on the mentorship.
Okay, so
Tell us what you will. I don't know. I'm very bad at speaking English.
Yeah, no, I think
No,
I
you're
get where you're
not.
coming from, Mariana. You're really trying to say, like, be really clear about what we just said, which is that just clearly say what is it you hope to get from from someone else in the guild, and then what is it, and again, how you word this, but what are you hoping to sort of impart or give in the mentoring relationship, and that will better help us to pair people up or just kind of know where you're coming from on the front end.
Because it can be confusing with the idea of discussing things, and I don't say that this is interesting. Maybe it can be another group just meeting.
Oh yeah, because we have discussions on on the website. People are free to post and discuss things all they want.
Exactly. But it's really like what we want to do, connect one to one. That's the idea, right?
yeah.
I mean, if there is more ideas, there are more ideas. But just to clarify, like if we really want to connect one musician with another musician, it's about this. It's not like, oh, we speak about our profession and the advocacy. No, this is another topic, no? Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. I'm just throwing the.
I don't know that we've really figured that one out yet, because on one hand, the more traditional approach is to have it between two people. But then on another hand, there might be four people that are interested in talking about this. So it might be like a small work group. It's I see it as an online version of what tends to happen at the conferences naturally. Only here it's a
We have to
little,
facilitate it a little bit more.
yeah, you have to create a structure for
Yeah.
these relationships to start to connect. So it's a switchboard in a sense, like a patch bay that we just have to plug into so we
Exactly.
can make the connections.
I just
I
want to
like.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
a clarifying question because I was just checking out the Women in Jazz organization. They have an established mentorship program, which in that model, it's established musicians who are mentoring younger women. So I think there's going to be a lot of younger people who come on to this and are like, I don't really have too much to offer. I really just want to be mentored. I mean, at least I'm
That's fine.
I'm still in that position, but what I wanted to say was that even though I'm over 50 now, there's so much I have to learn. So I really like the fact that you're making it more like a co-mentorship thing. Because even with Women in Jazz, like I want to be a mentee. Like I'm not a great bebop player, but I'd love to be. But I'm always like, oh, I'm too old. So I'm glad that you're making that model. But I think another model could be, and this could maybe be in the future, like when I study with the Society of Composers and Lyricists, they have a mentorship that's free. It's a whole year where they take you to all the great studios in New York City, and you see people making video game music, and you go to NBC studios and you see things recorded, and it's phenomenal. So that experience, like we had at Mark Morris, of seeing Mark Morris actually teach a class and hearing Robert Boston play, and there's that kind of mentorship too that I don't know, maybe we could talk about, going to Ailey, maybe going to different schools and just seeing people play class is invaluable. And I would love to see more drummers and more electronics. Like at NYU, they've got all kinds of people being paid really well, and I still don't know what the hell they're doing because I haven't knocked on that door. So I'm just saying, there's lots of different models here we could use.
Well, that was one of the things that I saw this being useful for, where we could have resources of examples of people playing class, and maybe more of a couple of examples of an analysis or a dissection of what's happening.
Yeah, I think Rob.
Are,
Yeah, I think Rob, you and I could maybe, that could be another thing that we do at this meeting next week as we launch it, is you and I to give some examples of that, right? If
I
you,
would love, I
yeah.
would love for it to. I mean, there are so many people in our group that could provide incredible videos of just them playing. I mean, Tigger, I would love to see you play. It used to be so much fun to play classes with you.
Well,
Um,
and that's a whole other topic, successful ensemble playing. If you actually are lucky enough to have two or three people playing, uh, how to do that?
yeah.
Because
Wow.
So
I expect, although we have all been involved in very unsuccessful situations like that. Do you know what I mean? People
Yeah.
don't always listen as well as you would hope they would.
Uh,
Yeah, I think this is like, yeah, this is the tip of the iceberg, and I think so. I guess as a way to kind of encourage us all, but also to like really focus, is that we are creating containers. Like, and Jeff really preached this to us as he sort of let go of the reins of this over the first year. 2023, Jeff was really involved still. But as he was turning the reins over to us, Mariana and Bill and myself, it was kind of like we're just creating these containers for things to happen. And it's not important that we get it right. It's not important that it's all encompassing. The importance is on that it's happening. And then from this, and I think in that way, keeping it simple in terms of how we present it, but also, giving the idea of how this could evolve. And then also just keeping it the simplicity of having it one-on-one. Because just like you're saying, Rob, a lot of these interactions just happen as a casual conversation between two people, and then somebody goes, "Oh, hey, here, talk to this guy over here," or this lady who's been, like, wow, these are the connections that can start being made. Oh yeah, I know 5 other people that have been having this conversation behind the scenes, and then that opens up the dialogue in other ways, I think. So, and then we can figure out how to facilitate that next. Part of the problem is, the Guild was very good at having conferences and having like print resources, and even just having a generic, email listserv that people regularly contributed to. And now that those, aren't in as abundance or don't exist at all, like we're just recreating all these containers. So yeah, I think it's not so important that we get it right, but that we launch something and we start with a framework. Even these work meetings, we've been doing every month, but then we're like, we'll have another meeting later in the month, and then it's like, well, maybe we should just kind of, and so we're constantly adjusting. Or when's the newsletter going to go out? Let's do it every month. And wait, that's too many times a year, and now we're going to do it 3 times a year. So we're just figuring out the rhythms, to use a percussionist.
And that's good.
Yeah. So thanks for your input. I mean, and whatever you guys are able to roll out is going to be 100% more than we're doing right now. So, it's just easy, again, I say this also as an encouragement, because I know, Mariana, we were talking last time, it's just kind of feeling like this, like we're just climbing uphill in the mud, without much resource, and clawing our way, into what we think this can be. And it's not so encouraging a lot of the time, just to see that it feels like progress is so glacial. But yeah, again, anything is an improvement at this point.
Yeah.
It's kind of freeing. So
I just put it in the post. I'm happy to connect with all the musicians I know from the places that I work at, but do we also want to outreach to the schools, with all these poor pianists who graduate without these skills, you know?
Yeah,
Dominique, you sent all the message only to me because you didn't change them.
I
Yes,
didn't realize.
I realize now. So I have to say it. Sorry.
Oh, right, sorry.
yeah, I would love. I've been putting together a spreadsheet of all the dance programs and schools that I can find information to and contacts. And I've got to get that out at some point and just sort of start blasting them with stuff about the guild to try to generate some interest. But yeah, there's a lot of music programs out there. So yeah, if like any great idea, if you want to help start doing that and together, at least to the schools that you really, know that there are people that they're graduating a lot of folks who would be looking for work, just start with the New York area maybe. And they just start getting those folks interest people contacts you have there and just, yeah, encourage them to look at this other option for how to make a living.
That'd be great. Especially because, like, with Be Bold, with Misty's program, she's hiring accompanists, and we each get paid $100 an hour, which is great. But her whole thing is like, let's have all the instruments. So one person just plays bass, another person just plays alto sax, and we're allowed to play any style we want. And she's just like blowing the roof off the whole concept of like ballet music. Ballet class has to be ballet music, and she's hired there's like 50 of us working. Maybe about 20 musicians, and I'm sure all those people would be like all over it.
Where
So
is this?
this is Misty Copeland's Be Bold Foundation. It started 2
Wow.
years ago, and we're at after school programs in the Bronx and where are we? Bronx and Manhattan right now. So, but they're all privately funded, so the government can't touch us. Yeah.
That sounds nasty in the best way possible.
So I'll try to get them on board. I'll have them.
Oh, that's great.
The thing I like as because I've done a lot of classical and jazz, but what I love about working with Bill for the classes here in Houston is they want more sound. They want a thicker texture. When I was learning jazz, they said, "Oh, make it sparing. Don't get in the way of the bass. Don't do this. Don't do that." You know. But in ballet class, they want more, and that I love that because I always like to play more. Anyway, just there are some things in dance accompanying that don't exist in other performance venues, and it is a performance venue. One of our Ty, I forgot his last name, but he's one of the really good full-time players for the Houston Ballet, and he says every class is a performance, and so he takes it really seriously, and it's I just think it's wonderful.
Mhm.
I
Great.
think in general, as a pianist playing in dance classes, we are our own bass players anyway. So I think the ensemble, our relationship to jazz is oblique in some ways because I think we're so used to being on the bass part. So if you're playing in a jazz con, I think the Misty Copeland Foundation thing is fairly exceptional to the
Yeah.
situation. I've had so many different music students come through the dance classes at UCI, and I can only think of one bass player who ever did it. And we had a cellist who sort of didn't want to play bass or had attention deficit, so he would wander off. But yeah, so I think that, and I remember this is just an anecdote, but I went to see Elton John at when he came through Orange County right before COVID hit, and the sound was really familiar, and I realized it was a pianist and two percussionists and no bass player. It was like, oh, it's just like a dance class, and that's so it's a different kind of sound, and that I think we're used to generating all that power ourselves, or if we're lucky, we're usually playing with melody instrument or a percussionist, and the percussionist is great because it's such a relief to not have to drive the groove under all of it, but I
And
just was reflecting on all of this conversation. And I'd also want to just speaking, going back to things that Rob said, that Owen said, that there's no substitute for being in the actual same room with each other in terms
yeah,
of the experience and the professional growth. I did 14 summers at American Dance Festival, and it was the other musicians that trained me, and it was
yeah,
by sitting in with them when you've already played 3 classes and you're covered in sweat, and you wander in and sit in with someone else because they're as miserable as you are. Those are incredible musical experiences, and I certainly grew as a dance musician from playing with other musicians. And so that's a really hard thing to substitute with Zoom. And COVID made us do this, but I think that we have to figure out a way to be with each other. And so, all right, I'm just rambling at this point, so I'll stop.
now
No,
Thank
I think
yeah.
the advice for a lot of drummers is somewhat reverse of your experience, Alan, where they play as if they're accompanying another musician, and that musician there is no such other musician, so they need to provide melody as well as just a beat, quote unquote. So, you can't really. I found once you get to 5 drums, you have, the mystery of the pentatonic scale really helps. However, logistically, that is sometimes impossible. So, but it is easier in academic situations where you have a storage closet on site, not to schlep stuff on the subway.
Yeah.
Anyway,
What
yeah.
I'm just going to add my 2 cents to this conversation because, again, when I retired, I started playing more ballet classes at Ballet Arizona, and I went back and found a notebook from 1972, a piano notebook, and I'm writing notes to myself, and I'm kind of just back in that learning how to do this again, and I'm realizing that it's like I'm looking at a jazz chart and I'm looking at the dancers. And I, you know, get all the information from what I'm seeing. So if a teacher says, well, just play something, I'm at a loss because I look at the movement to get an idea, even in a ballet class. So
Sure.
the left
Well,
hand is, providing the rhythm, and the right hand is, articulating the melodic gestures and the phrasing, and then both hands are kind of accompanying in the middle of all of that. And it's like, as Marshall's saying, it's a very orchestral. It's a different way of thinking. I I think it's great. I'm glad to be retired and doing this again.
Great. Sorry, guys, we should finish this meeting. We are trying to do it in maximum, I don't know, 1 hour, 1 hour 30.
Yeah, I have to leave anyway.
Yes.
So, Greg, are we set? We have enough information to move it along?
I think so. I think so. I'll shoot you an email with some times I can get together.
Yes.
Okay, and everyone, just give us ideas. Send us any ideas, and we'll try to digest them and put them into a
Yes.
simple form.
And I could send you ideas in the form of filling out some of that Google form. Is that okay? Or
That's great.
okay,
Yes.
great.
One thing from Eleni. Eleni is going to send a newsletter on the 17th. So she is asking if you want to send material, ideas, links, anything, send it to her before the 14th.
Great.
Okay, so maybe Greg, it's time to send the survey also to Eleni
Yep, just did that.
with a short explanation, like Eleni, add the survey explaining that we need people to comment on this or whatever.
Yep.
And also maybe Owen, one about the conference, we talked already on Friday, so she knows. Yes. Great. And then we can say that on the 10th of March, we will get more information from the mentorship. Let's see how many answers you got from the survey, and you present something.
That sounds good.
Super.
We'll figure it out.
All
All
right.
right. Well,
I'll
bye-bye.
try to get Olga to come. Here's her picture. She's like
Cool.
the cutest. warmest Russian woman you'll ever meet. I'm sure she'd be all over it. She's teaching at some fancy high school in Florida where her quote was, the entire faculty is all Russians and they're all driving me crazy. She's down there. All these kids do is dance ballet all day, but she does come back up to New York to visit. So I'm sure she would be excited about this organization too.
Do all these links end? All these things in the chat, do these end as soon as the Zoom call is over? Or?
Yeah, if you click on the three dots, the more you can save the chat for yourself.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
Yep.
Or
Yep.
if you open the pages now, you'll have.
Open the pages. So open the links.
Yeah, go ahead and open the links and or
save
save if you want to save that just in case you lose them later.
Okay. More. Okay, there it is.
Oh, there it is. Wow. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, chat. Okay.
Mentorship.
Right? little techie details.
So, Mariana, and Greg and Rob, so there's a time that we'll meet to discuss the flow of the presentation, all that stuff, make sure all the publicity is worked out, make sure the social media stuff is done. Do we need to meet again for that, or
I think they're
at the end of the month, maybe we should get some. We should organize how we communicate on Facebook groups, on our email, and all of this. So let's meet at the end of the month to organize a little bit.
It can be short. Just want to make sure that we all get on the same. Each time we do a presentation to the whole guild, there's more logistics than we realize sometimes. Sorry, Rob.
I don't know what we're presenting. I mean, we have to figure out a format for this to exist. So, what are we building? I don't have any more clarity on that today than I did before.
In terms of like a platform, like whether we're doing it through the website or what? Okay. Well, maybe that's something to also. Okay.
Bye, Tig.
Yeah. Maybe that's something that we can discuss at that meeting. Again, this is the logistics end of thing of like, how are we going to deliver your presentation? How are we going to have it accessible to people? And I think that doesn't need everybody. I think if we could do this pretty quickly, I think. I'll focus on that in the meantime. I'll look at what might be available through the website, and y'all can be scouting out your own resources.
And you can reach out to me if you want to just talk and share some ideas.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, Slack might also be a platform for it. So I'll look into both of those.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to throw a date for that meeting so I can get it in my calendar?
End of the month is
like 28th, maybe Friday.
Friday 28th. Yeah, could be fine. Around the same time.
I can't. I could do a little later on that day. I'm
okay.
12 Eastern on. I'm free.
Okay.
That's 11 Central.
11 Central. Yeah, I can do that.
When do we change? When does the clocks change?
Not till March, I think.
Okay. So we're still okay. So what time are we saying?
We can do the 28th at noon. Or
Eastern.
Noon
Eastern, 11 Central, 10 Mountain.
Arizona.
And Mariana, I'll leave you to work that out.
Yes. So, yes, we meet that day. I will check out what time is in Spain. Okay, and Eleni will join also because she's in charge of our Instagram and so on.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Great.
Okay, great. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Nick,
Thanks.
for all the ideas and all the energy. Thank you, Greg and Rob. And yes, we meet soon. Okay, bye.
All right.
Welcome,
take care.
Dominic.
Bye,
Good
everyone.
to see you all.
Great seeing you all.
Bye.
Bye. Ciao, Marshall.
Thank you.